Hey everyone, welcome back to the Sunny Side. I'm Sunny, and this reading right here, right now, is for Alexander the Great. Oh yeah, well, this is the first time I'm looking at Alexander the Great's chart. And for those who don't know, I am a professional astrologer. I do write the horoscopes for some of the newspapers up here in Canada. And if you'd like a personal reading, just check it out in the description box below how to go about that. In addition to that, we have tons of live streams here on the channel, and on the live streams, we do some fun stuff. And every morning I read your horoscopes, and at night I read the tarot cards for you guys. But in addition to that, I film all my videos live these days for you guys. And right now, I'm filming these ones live, and I'm having a fun. So if I get distracted or we start to ask, everybody asks questions, then, just know that we're doing it live. So if you want to tune in, by all means tune in, and if you drop by, please say hi. Now, for this right here, this reading right here, this was recommended by one of our Sunnysiders, Gabe Ramirez, and he's recommended that we have a look at Alexander the Great's chart. Now, people from history are not the easiest charts to find. We don't know the exact time. We don't know the exact date. And anyways, this is the particular one is from Astro Theme, and these guys have his birth date as Alexander the Great. They have his birthday at July 22nd, 356 BC at 11 p.m. Now, I don't know, when the guy is a big historical figure, it's kind of easier to rectify his chart than some of a regular guy, because these guys have some fairly big events that are well documented that go on in his chart, and it's a lot easier to rectify their chart like that. And rectification means if you don't know someone's birth time, we do a thing called we rectify the chart. And sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's tricky. When I did the thing between when I did the charts for the American election, I had to rectify Hillary Clinton's chart to figure out what time of day she was born. It was kind of fun. It wasn't too tough because it just used her marriage and her kids and all that stuff, and parents' deaths. And anyways, here we go. So here's the action. So this is Alexander the Great. Let's see what's going on with this guy. Let's see if we can figure it out. Oh my God, his Pluto is right on his descendant. This guy is going to change the world. Right there. Pluto, powerful transformations. Wow, right on the ascendant. Big stuff. He's going to kill a lot of people. Pluto on the ascendant. This guy is walking death. As much as you might say, oh wow, he's good as that. Look at that. Holy Jesus, guy's gonna kill a lot of people. And oh my God, okay. Let's figure out if I can read this chart properly. This is the this chart is from Astro Theme, so I just have to get used to how everything is spelled out on this chart. He has some hitting planets. So if this guy was born today, we'd say he'd be like a major kind of, like he would be a very serious kind of corporate guy. Saturn in the second house, makes an aspect of Pluto in his first house. This guy is going to take other people's things, right? This Saturn here means this is his stuff. And, Saturn's like second house. It's not in the second house. It's down. This chart's effed up, man. The first house of the arrow here. So Saturn in the first house. Sorry, let's look at this again. He has Pluto and Saturn in his first house. These lines here are a little tricky on this chart. These aren't the houses. These are the constellations. These are the signs. So this arrow to this arrow is the first house, and this arrow to this arrow is the second house. Can you guys see that? It's a little tricky to see. This is not the house, this is the sign. Usually, these guys kind of put the circles a little backwards for some reason, but it's the way they do their chart. So let's just take a moment and, get used to it as we go along. Now, Pluto and Saturn on the first house. When you have Saturn in your first... Okay, let's go cruise on back for a little bit. Okay, his sun is in Cancer, 24 degrees Cancer. So this guy takes care of his people. He does things for home and family, and for the most part, he wants his people to be well taken care of. And it's the underlying theme for what he does. He doesn't let his people starve. His Pluto is on the ascendant, so he very much will let other people starve. His Saturn is in the first house, which makes him a major control freak. It's this guy's way, or it's the no way, or he's literally off with your head. Pluto is the planet that kills people. Pluto is the bad guy. Pluto is the freeze. Pluto is the ice. Pluto doesn't care. He may be a Cancer, but keep in mind, Cancer is one of the toughest signs. They're one of the snip snip signs. They'll mess you up. And like Saturn, Cancers, guys in Cancers are like professional boxers, man. Like these are professional fighters. This guy is a professional fighter. Okay, but check this out. He keeps a lot of things inside. See, this is the horizon right here. All of the stuff underneath the horizon is him. It happens to him. Mars in the second house. He fights for money. Right? This guy he's very aggressive about taking over other people's things. You know, he's not a we kind of guy. This is we. Let's do it together. He's not. He is like Pluto. Like this guy, if he was born today, he might be a bank robber. Very seriously, he might be a bank robber. Just heads up. I'm a little all over the place. I'm not looking at this sequentially because this really threw me off. And but it's serious stuff. All right, what else is going on? What makes this guy so special? Okay, so he's a Cancer. All right, Cancers are Cancers. He's an Aries rising. He is an aggressive guy. Oh my God, his Pluto's in Aries on his ascendant. This is an aggressive guy. He's a fighting guy. Anyways, he has a very harmonious home life. I don't know what the books say, but this means he would, he was kind of probably born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Venus in the fourth house, silver spoon in his mouth. His parents were probably fairly wealthy. Pretty straight up. Anyways, he's a hothead, right? Like, yeah, it sounds like he's a hothead. Pluto in Aries on your ascendant, he's like mental. And he's a Cancer. He's like over the top emotional about it. This guy has hardcore emotional rage. He's not, okay, he is, I'll say it again. It looks like Cap, but no, Cap's up here all by itself. Cap's not overly aspected. Although his career, like you would expect him because he's so famous to have something aspecting all of this kind of stuff up here. You'd expect famous people to have this well aspected, but it's not. He doesn't have anything in the 10th house, nothing in the 11th house, nothing at all that would indicate that he'd be famous or go down in history, except that he's completely mental. Over here, we have, this is his 6th house between the two arrows, and he has a strong Virgo. Jupiter in Virgo in the 6th house means he majorly plans. All right, we'll get to the moon in a sec. His moon is really neat. Moon should be like the second thing I get to, right? Sun and moon, but I got sidetracked by this. But watch this. Jupiter in the 6th house in Virgo, of all things, it's in Virgo. This guy is a master strategist. Master, right? Jupiter in Virgo. You guys know what Virgo is all about. It's all about planning. So the guy doesn't just go crazy. He plans his craziness. And he's a Cancer. Oh, this guy's into revenge. Hey, there's no Chiron on this chart. We don't know if he did it because he was upset or what. He's ridiculous. Oh, now that I'm looking for Chiron, Lilith is here in Scorpio. So the guy is a major sex freak as well. Major sex freak. And so, not even a little bit, major sex freak. And he likes doing things with his partner. And yeah, he's a late Cancer, almost a Leo. No, seriously. All right, Topaz, you calm down. Every time I say sex freak, Scorpios go crazy on the channel. So master planner. He's incredibly, silver spoon in his mouth. He had The sun, the sun's in Cancer. He likes to take care of his people. Mars in the second house in Gemini. This guy takes other people's stuff. He has problems in this situation here. And Saturn in the first house, Pluto in the first house. He's a bad guy. He's a bad guy. He's not like, I didn't expect this. He's not like, he's not really into negotiations. What anybody says, he's not like a nice leader guy. He's not a diplomat. What anybody says, he's not a diplomat. He is a bad guy. Now, his moon is right here on the cusp of Libra and Scorpio. So on one hand, he may, like right at 0 degrees. So, but this changes depending on the time of day. He could easily be a Libra. He could easily be a Scorpio. And this is how it's going to play out. If his moon is in Libra, he would be fairly diplomatic. But if he's in Scorpio, he is 100% gonna mess you up without any joke or remorse or recourse or refrigeration or any other word. He's just going into that. He might mess you up with some rebar. But that's what's going on. But there's something else. One thing we should know about history. When Libra sets the standards for everybody. And if you don't cross it, if you can't cross the bar, Libra is going to reject you. Sometimes they do it in a nice way. Usually they do it in a nice way. But if Libra doesn't have to be nice. Libra is the sign that will turn their back on you. And just, this is the type of guy. With the moon in Libra, no joke. This is the type of guy. This is the guy, if the moon was in Libra, he would kill his friends. Right? That's the type of guy he would be. If the moon was in Scorpio, he would kill everybody. And so he does. If the moon's in Scorpio, he would be, even though it's in the 7th house, he would feel lonely and isolated. Right? He'd be very quiet. Even if it's all in here, he'd be quiet. But there's more to it. Like, Lilith is in the 7th house. This guy gets off on killing people. It's his thing. Like he does it. It's a drug for him. And so, but that's the deal with it. Just oh yeah, Lucy's saying Mars in Libra. Where's that? Oh yeah, Mars in Gemini. Sorry, I said Libra. Mars in Gemini. He communicates when angry. Oh yeah, this guy doesn't shut the F up. He probably yells and screams and yells and screams, and he probably kills it. This guy is a really bad, like, I don't know what to say. He's crazy. He's just crazy. Yeah, Carmela said hard to make friends when you're axing everyone. Seriously, and Gabe says with a sword, that was the only communication back then. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, seriously. It was a sword. It was the only communication back then. Does he have any leadership qualities? Oh, yeah, man. He's an Aries rising. He's a leader. He's aggressive. He's an aggressive leader. And but at his essence, his core essence, he probably did things to protect his family. And everything he did, he probably sincerely thought he was protecting his family, which is the thing. Once again, he's a master strategist, like very seriously, a major planner, and he was probably in pretty good shape. And the moon is right on the cusp. It's in the 7th house. He wants to take care of other people, but he's gonna freak everybody. That's what it is. He's always judging other people. And that's the deal. He's always judging other people. And he's crazy. This guy was crazy. I don't know. It's interesting. You'd think with the moon in Libra, he'd bring peace to everybody. He'd bring harmony. But that's not the case. You know, do you see that, Luce? Do you see that? You'd think that, yeah, Karen's right. He does sound similar to Napoleon, doesn't he? The Napoleon has a thing in his chart though that I read recently that I can't remember what it is now. He had a certain thing. It's like a Uranus thing or something that everyone who has this thing in their chart is very similar. And but Alexander the Great, although he sounds like it. This guy was jazzed on the inside. This is a crazy kind of dude. You would think with all this air energy would be, he would be all talk, but he's not. He's he definitely walks the walk, and he definitely does it. Saturn in Taurus, he takes stuff. He takes things. Jupiter in Virgo, he plans things. You know, Moon. The Moon is on the cusp here. This is an interesting one. You'd think he'd be diplomatic. But I would think he'd be diplomatic. Moon in Libra, but it's on the cusp. It's on the cusp. Moon in Scorpio again, if it was in Scorpio again, a Joan of Arc thing where he listens to the voices in his head. But if it's a Libra thing, he could be. I know I'm saying two different things, but I know it's because we know Alexander the Great is a military leader, so everything is kind of colored a certain way, and we're looking for ghosts here, so to speak. But Moon in Libra, as much as I'm saying Libra is the bar and all this kind of stuff, and you don't cross it, they get pissed off. Libra is a harmonious sign, and the Moon in Libra in the 7th house is a relationship guy. He is kind of your best friend. He's kind of your best friend. So, if it's in Libra, he was probably really good to his family and his peeps. But I don't know. It depends on what it is. Moon in Libra is going to square his Venus in Cancer. That's going to give him a lot of angst. And, so his friends are going to bug him. If he really was crazy, if he was really mentally, then he would mess you up. But he probably really does, want to be nice with his partners, and they probably just don't jive with how he wants to love his family. So that's the thing. Anyways, he leads through the sword. What did you guys say? Maybe he didn't like to see how everything was so unbalanced around him, so he got mad and rebalanced it. I think that's the deal. I think he was thinking about bringing law and order to the world, right? Libra's a diplomat. We're assuming that his moon is in Libra here. It's on the cusp, but let's assume that it was in Libra. If the moon in Scorpio has an association with the occult, so he would hear voices and he'd have dreams and he'd follow the dreams and he would talk to the dead. But Moon in Libra is a diplomat. He wants something balanced. He's going to bring law and order to everyone. So, I gave it a bad rap a couple of minutes ago, but truthfully, I'll say it again. Moon in Scorpio is a very close association with the occult. He might have he probably had an astrologer on staff. That's the type of thing. Or he probably talked to spirits and witches. But with the moon in Libra, he's probably trying to bring balance and order to an unruly world. It just was square with his family, so he had to watch it. And that's the action. That's what's going on. But Pluto on the ascendant. This guy brings death straight up. That's what he's done. And he's obviously has a very short temper. And that's the action. We can't. I was judging this guy because of all this stuff over here. And the Scorpio thing was kind of, a little cuckoo bananas. But seriously, this guy he thought he was doing something good for the world. I would imagine he thought he was doing something good for the world. I think he thought he was bringing order and balance and government and stuff to the world. But at the same time, he killed everybody. And he was a total sex freak. And that was the action, guys. That was the action. Just a reminder, I'm a professional astrologer. And if you'd like a personal reading, check it out in the description box below. And by all means, if you like this stuff, please tune into the channel. I film these videos live for you guys. And that's the action from TheSunnySide.net. I'm Sunny, wishing all history buffs the absolute best of a super beautiful day. And I'll see you guys soon.